just a couple days before, when McClellan saw them fighting and fighting extremely well, and he said, "Who are those men?" And they said, "They're the Black Hat Brigade," because they had hardy hats. They had black felt hats with a broad brim that they folded up on one side. So somebody said they looked like Australians, but and they wore white gaiters that you don't even see anymore, except in some bands will have a gaiter wrapped around your ankles, and that was designed to prevent briars from shredding the bottom of your pants. And they were a pain, and the men hated them. As a matter of fact, real quickly, one morning Gibbon insisted that they wear this uniform because they're distinctive. It was pride in the unit, right? But the gaiters were a problem because they had to keep them white, and nobody liked them. So one morning, Gibbon got up and came out and found his horse had 4 gaiters on his leg. So he got the message. So after that, they didn't have to wear gaiters anymore. So they get the nickname. So basically, McClellan says, well, they must be men of iron the way they're fighting, and so that's how they got the nickname, the Iron Brigade. And they're crack units from Wisconsin, Indiana, and Michigan, and they're going to be on that end of the line, coming down about where the telephone poles are that you see over there, on either side of the Hagerstown Pike. Some in the cornfield, some on the other side of the cornfield. And this is the way Rufus Dawes described it. As we appeared at the edge of the corn, right here, a long line of men in butternut and gray rose up from the ground. Simultaneously, the hostile battle lines opened a tremendous fire on each other. Men, I cannot say how many fell. They were knocked out of the ranks by the dozens. But we jumped over the fence and pushed on, loading and firing and shouting as we advanced. There was on the part of the men great hysterical excitement, eagerness to go forward, and a reckless disregard of life, of everything but victory. The men are loading and firing with demoniacal fury, and shouting and some laughing hysterically. And the whole field before us is covered with rebels fleeing for their life into the woods. That'd be the west woods behind us. The powder is bad, and the guns have become very dirty. So the black powder is coating the inside of the barrel every time you fire it, and as you try to ram a new bullet down that barrel, it gets harder and harder. I have a model 1863 Springfield musket, reproduction, and I can fire about less than 10 rounds before I have to stop and clean the gun. Now they had cleaning rounds that helped keep the barrels open a little bit more, but that's one thing that you don't think about sometimes. So it takes hard pounding to get the bullets to go down with the ramrod, which means it takes more time to load it. A long, steady line of rebel gray comes sweeping down through the woods around the church. So that's Hood's Texas Brigade, reinforcements coming forward. They raise the rebel yell and fire. It is like a scythe running through our line. Now save who can, it is a race for life. Back in that direction. So what was happening here, and then he says, the Angel of Death at Spotsylvania, the Cold Harbor Slaughter Pen, this is still Dawes writing, the Fredericksburg Stone Wall, were all mentally compared by me. These are all other battles that he was in. But the scene at Antietam's cornfield along the Hagerstown Pike surpassed all in manifest evidence of slaughter.